What is going on, everybody? Today I'll be doing my 2020 NFL mock draft round 1 3.0. I've done a 2.0 and a 1.0, and you guys have absolutely did amazing on those, so thank you guys so much. Link will be down in the description below if you have not already checked that one out. Please like the video. I'd appreciate that so much. Comment if you like the pick that I gave for your team, and of course subscribe for more mock drafts every single week. And let's get right on into the video. With the first pick, the Bengals select Joe Burrow. I don't really need an explanation on this pick, as Joe Burrow has obviously proven why he is the best quarterback to come out of this year's draft, and the Bengals desperately need a quarterback. With the second pick, the Redskins select Chase Young. Another pick I really don't need to explain, as Chase Young, in my opinion, is the best player in this year's draft. Hopefully, Chase Young can bring some spark to this defense and hopefully turn around the Redskins team for the better. With the third pick, the Lions select Jeffrey Okudah, cornerback. I really like this pick. Jeffrey Okudah can bring a lot of talent to this cornerback position that already has Darius Slay, a veteran, which he could learn off of, but there's really not much depth other than Darius Slay in that position, which is why I think Jeffrey Okudah is a good pick here. Not only does he add depth, but he also brings a very talented player who's great in man coverage and can stop most receivers from not even getting a chance to catch the ball. So I think he's a very talented player who will do amazing on the Detroit Lions. With the fourth pick, the New York Giants select Isaiah Simmons, linebacker / safety. Isaiah Simmons is a player that I really love. I think that he is perfect for this Giants team. He's a little on the light side to play linebacker, but he could still play linebacker very, very well. And he's also a great safety. I think that on the Giants, they're playing more of a hybrid type defense, so he could fit anywhere. He could also play in the slot. He could also rush the quarterback. So really, Isaiah Simmons could do anything, which is kind of like a gem for the quarterback. And I'd be very, very excited if I was a coach and had a player like Isaiah Simmons on their team. With the fifth pick, the Dolphins select Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa is a huge gamble. We really don't know what he's going to be like until after the injury. Before the injury, he was one of the most dynamic players going into the draft, and he really had high hopes. But now with this injury coming by, it's just a bunch of question marks until he's back to 100% strength and we can see what he does. But I still think that Tua Tagovailoa is worth the gamble because he has such great potential in the NFL. With the sixth pick, the Chargers select Justin Herbert, quarterback. Justin Herbert, a quarterback that I think is a little underrated. He had a very great Senior Bowl and really just an exceptional player that I think will be a great replacement for Phillip Rivers and be able to run this Chargers defense very, very well. With the seventh pick, the Panthers select Derrick Brown, interior defensive lineman. I really like Derrick Brown, and I think in most drafts he would go in the top 4, but since this draft is so quarterback needy and so offensive lineman needy, he falls to pick 7, which is perfect for Panthers fans and the Panthers. I think that he'll be a great addition to this Panthers defensive line, and I think that he'll thrive in that defensive scheme. I think he's a great pick for this Panthers defense. With the 8th pick, the Cardinals select Jedrick Wills, offensive tackle. Jedrick Wills has been climbing up everyone's boards and has actually made it to my number 1 offensive lineman in this year's draft. The Cardinals need an offensive lineman, there's no doubt about that, and Jedrick Wills is the best one on the board, and I think that he will be perfect for protecting the young Kyler Murray in the future. With the 9th pick, Jacksonville Jaguars select Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver. Jerry Jeudy, in my opinion, is still the number 1 wide receiver in the draft, and the Jacksonville Jaguars need a wide receiver option for whoever's at quarterback in the future. They can't just keep relying on DJ Chark. They need someone to take pressure off of him, and another star in the wide receiver position. I think Jerry Jeudy has a really big future in the NFL, and I think he'll be a star. With the 10th pick, the Browns select Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle. Andrew Thomas has not let up a sack all season long, and has just been really consistent, has great hands, very powerful, and great strength in blocking, great run blocking and pass blocking. And the Browns' offensive line is absolutely terrible. Baker Mayfield needs someone that he could rely on that line. I think Andrew Thomas is that guy who could hopefully help rebuild this Browns offensive line. With the 11th pick, the Jets select Clavon Chasen, edge. So Clavon Chasen has really grown on me, and I think that he is a top edge rusher, maybe the number 2 edge rusher in the draft, and I think he will be perfect for this Jets team. Very, very quick and good at beating defenders, offensive linemen. Very elusive, and he has great hands. And really, he's just that dream defender that any coach would love on their defensive line. And I think he'll be awesome for this New York Jets team. With the 12th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders select CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver. The Raiders need a wide receiver, and CeeDee Lamb, top 2, maybe some people consider him the best wide receiver in this year's draft, and I think he is just a perfect option for whoever's at quarterback in the future for this Raiders team. With the 13th pick, the Colts select Jordan Love. In my last mock draft, the 2-round mock draft, I did say that Jordan Love could very well soon be in my first round. Here he is going to a team that needs a quarterback. Jordan Love really has such a high potential, like a Patrick Mahomes potential. He could learn off the bench for a couple of years and then develop. And then I think he could be a really, really big star in the future. This Colts team really does need a quarterback, and I think Jordan Love is that perfect pick for the Colts. With the number 14 pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Javon Kinlaw, interior defensive lineman. Javon Kinlaw is another player that's been climbing up my draft boards, and I've really liked where he's been. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers need defensive linemen. I think that Javon Kinlaw is a perfect pick for this Tampa Bay defense that needs that spark, because they really haven't been performing to their best, to their fullest potential. I think Javon Kinlaw could just add to that QB pressure in the future. With the 15th pick, the Broncos select Tristan Wirfs, offensive tackle. Tristan Wirfs, another offensive tackle. I think he's in the top 4 offensive tackles. Did great at Iowa, and the Broncos, well, the young QB Drew Lock, who's been excellent in the few games he's played, needs protection up front, and I think Tristan Wirfs could be that reliable guy who won't let anyone get to Drew Lock. With the 16th pick, the Falcons select AJ Epineza, edge. So this is probably one of the farthest I've had AJ Epineza falling, just because the amount of talent that's in this draft. AJ Epineza is such a bright talent, and the Falcons need edge rushers. Their biggest need is edge rusher. I think AJ Epineza could fit that need and really give them someone that is a bright talent on that defense that could hopefully turn it around, because the Falcons defense has just been atrocious this season. The 17th pick, the Cowboys select Christian Fulton, cornerback. The Cowboys need secondary, 100%, no doubt about that. Safety and cornerback are their biggest needs, and I think that Christian Fulton is the best player there in the both cornerback and safety position. So eliminating cornerback off the board early is great, and Christian Fulton is an exceptional player who had a great season at LSU and really has a lot of talent that he could bring to this Cowboys team. With the 18th pick, the Dolphins select Mekhi Becton, offensive tackle. Mekhi Becton has really been shocking for me, climbing up everyone's boards. He's really built like a phenomenal offensive tackle, and he did great at Louisville, and I think that Tua Tagovailoa or whoever's quarterback for this Dolphins team could rely on a big guy like Mekhi Becton to protect them. And whoever the running back is, he's great at run blocking, Mekhi Becton, and he's also great at pass blocking. So Mekhi Becton is just a phenomenal player to have on your offensive line. With the 19th pick, the Raiders select C.J. Henderson, cornerback. So the Raiders also need help on the defensive side of things, where their secondary is pretty weak, and C.J. Henderson is a good player. He is on the small side, but he goes up for balls like he is just as tall, if not taller, than the wide receiver. He's a phenomenal talent to have on your team, and I would be really excited if I was a Raiders fan and Henderson ended up on your team. With the 20th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars selected Xavier McKinney, safety. Xavier McKinney is one of those special talents that you don't see come out of the draft that much. He actually shot up from pick 32 in my last mock draft to now pick 20. The Jaguars need a safety and linebacker. I guess he's kind of like Isaiah Simmons. He could play both linebacker and safety, preferably in the safety position. And the Jaguars' defense has really been a bummer this season. Since the season before, they were one of the best defenses in the NFL. They've really been slacking this season. I think Xavier McKinney can hopefully give them that boost that they need to hopefully encourage them in the coming seasons. With the 21st pick, the Eagles select Henry Ruggs III. Shockingly, I have Henry Ruggs falling to pick 21 somehow. I don't know how. But I don't think the Eagles can pass on Henry Ruggs. They definitely need wide receivers. And Henry Ruggs is just that guy that doesn't come out of the draft at all. He's very speedy, very quick, can easily pass through defenders like it's nothing. And he's just such a special talent, like a Tyreek Hill, that is not on every team. So I think if you're the Eagles, you can't pass on a player like Henry Ruggs, especially since wide receiver is one of your top needs. With the 22nd pick, the Bills select Yetur Gross-Matos, edge. Yetur Gross-Matos is a player that I've had going to the Bills for some time now. He's a very inspirational edge rusher. He's had a great story to get where he is today. And the Bills desperately need edge rushers, so I think that Yetur Gross-Matos, best talent available on the board, able to get his strong gap penetration gets him through offensive linemen like it's nothing. He's able to eat up turf very quickly, and he just is that strong, elusive type guy that you would love to have on your team. So I really love Yetur Gross-Matos, and I think he'd pan out very well on the Bills. With the 23rd pick, the Patriots select Terrell Lewis, edge rusher. The Patriots, they have not very many needs, but I think that their need that they should tackle in the first round is edge rusher. I think it's too early to get a tight end, and Terrell Lewis is a great talent. Obviously, the Patriots' very upsetting playoff run. Terrell Lewis can hopefully continue to bring pressure to the quarterback, especially in this very powerful and number one Patriots defense. With the 24th pick, the Saints select Patrick Queen, linebacker, LSU. So I've fallen in love with Patrick Queen. I think he's a phenomenal player who really proved himself at LSU. And he's actually climbed up my board a little bit, and I think that he'll bring great talent to this Saints defense that needs a linebacker, needs a main linebacker, and I think that Patrick Queen has the ability to fill that hole and become the starting linebacker next season for this good Saints defense. With the 25th pick, the Vikings select Grant Delpit. So it might be a shocker to some of you that Grant Delpit fell to pick 25. Again, just how my mock draft panned out, and I like this pick. The Vikings, they have some needs, safety being one of their needs. Since safety is one of their needs, I don't think they could pass on a talent like Grant Delpit. Obviously, didn't have a very good end to his collegiate times, his college time, but I still think that the talent's there for Grant Delpit, and the Vikings, they obviously can't pass on a player like him. Their secondary needs work. I think Grant Delpit can really be a shining star on that Vikings defense. With the 26th pick, the Dolphins select the first running back off the board, DeAndre Swift. Now, DeAndre Swift, he's he's a special player. He's very fast, able to eat up turf very quick, and great in one-on-ones. beating defenders on one-on-ones. And the Dolphins, obviously their offense needs a ton of work. Same with their defense. They really don't have a main running back. Patrick Liard is not it at all. And DeAndre Swift will be able from day one to take that starting role. And I think he'll thrive on a team like the Dolphins. With the 27th pick, the Seahawks select Josh Jones, offensive tackle, Houston. Obviously not coming out of a very big college like Oklahoma or Alabama or Clemson. Coming out of Houston, which is not the biggest football college. But Josh Jones has proved to us what he can do. He's huge. And he's built like a star offensive tackle, has great hands, great strength. And the Seahawks need an offensive lineman that's big, tough, and that could protect Russell Wilson. Also, he's great at run blocking, so that's great for whoever the running back is in the future. Is it Chris Carson? We don't know. But Josh Jones, I think he'll do a great job in protecting a player like Russell Wilson. With the 28th pick, the Baltimore Ravens select Kenneth Murray, linebacker, Oklahoma. Kenneth Murray's fallen a few spots from my last mock draft, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. The Ravens need a linebacker. That's their number one need. And I think Kenneth Murray has the talent that the Ravens need. The Ravens obviously had a very upsetting playoff run, which ended against the Titans in a very shocking way. I think that Kenneth Murray could come in and be a star on this Baltimore Ravens talented defense. He really has the talent, very good in coverage, and also when blitzing, getting to the quarterback, he just exceptional talent Kenneth Murray has. With the 29th pick, the Titans select Curtis Weaver, edge. So Curtis Weaver has went up and down, and I think he's the next best edge rusher in the draft, and the Titans definitely need an edge rusher. I think that Curtis Weaver is that talent. Obviously, Titans went on a very good run that ended a little too short. Would have loved to see him be that Cinderella story, go to the playoff, go to the Super Bowl and win it. I think that Curtis Weaver could be that player that could give them a 1-2 punch when it comes to their defense. Definitely had a good play at Boise State, and it's really proved to us why he could be a top edge rusher in the NFL someday. With the 30th pick, the Packers select T. Higgins, wide receiver. Again, another shocking player that fell a little bit, T. Higgins. The Packers, they need a wide receiver. Rodgers needs another option other than Davante Adams, who can't just be taking every single throw. They really don't have anyone else. Allen Lazard's done all right this season, but they need someone, a definite wide receiver too, who can take pressure off of Davante Adams. And I think T. Higgins is that guy. He's 6'4". He's a speedy guy. He's great at going up for balls and coming down with it. Has great hands, great footwork, and is able to beat the defenders off the snap. I think that T. Higgins will work great with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, and also be able to take some pressure off of Davante Adams. With the 31st pick, the San Francisco 49ers select Jeff Gladney, cornerback, TCU. The San Francisco 49ers defense has played exceptional this season. One position that they could work out is the cornerback position. I think Jeff Gladney is a very talented player who could come in and add some depth to that position. Really good in coverage, and also doesn't really let wide receivers get past him a lot without putting up a huge fight. So I think Jeff Gladney could be a very good option for the San Francisco 49ers. And with the 32nd pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select Trayvon Diggs, cornerback. Trayvon Diggs, brother of wide receiver Stephon Diggs, has really had a impressive college. Has really impressed in college ball. And I think that he'll be a great addition to this Kansas City Chiefs defense secondary, which has really been strong, but could use a player like Trayvon Diggs in the future. So that is it for this mock draft. Thank you all for watching. Please like the mock draft. I'd appreciate that so much. Comment if you liked your team's pick, and subscribe, of course, for more mock drafts every single week. Thank you all for watching, and peace.